There is someone your cockatoo does not like. You know exactly who I'm talking about. That one person who walks into your home and your cockatoo changes, lunges, screams, retreats to the back of the cage, pins its eyes, raises its crest into full threat display. And you stand there embarrassed, apologizing, saying they're not usually like this, I don't know what's gotten into them. You do now. Because your cockatoo was not being aggressive. It was not being moody. It was not misbehaving. It had just completed a threat assessment more sophisticated than anything modern science can build in a laboratory. And it returned a verdict you were socially conditioned to ignore. Subscribe if your cockatoo has ever warned you about someone. The first thing your cockatoo evaluated was the visitor's face. Not the way you evaluate a face. Glancing at it, reading the broad social signal, accepting the smile at face value. Your cockatoo saw something you are physically incapable of seeing. Cockatoos process visual information at a flicker fusion rate estimated between 100 and 150 frames per second. The human eye processes roughly 60. This means your cockatoo is watching the world at nearly double your temporal resolution. Movements that look smooth and continuous to you appear slower, more granular, more detailed to your cockatoo. And this matters profoundly when it comes to human facial expressions, because the human face does not just display the emotions a person wants you to see, it also displays the ones they are trying to hide. Micro-expressions. Involuntary muscle contractions around the eyes and mouth that reveal concealed contempt, suppressed anger, hidden disgust, false warmth, flash across a human face for approximately 40 to 80 milliseconds. That is far too fast for another human to consciously detect at conversational distance. You see the smile. You miss the flicker of something beneath it. Your cockatoo does not miss it. At its processing speed, that 40 millisecond flash is not a flicker. It is a fully legible frame, a clear, readable signal that says the mouth is smiling, but the muscles around the eyes contracted in a pattern that does not match the smile. And published research in avian cognition confirms that parrots distinguish between individual human faces, associate specific faces with emotional experiences, and maintain those associations for years. Your cockatoo is not merely reading the micro-expression, it is filing that face into a permanent record. And the next time that person appears, months later, years later, the cockatoo does not reassess. It responds to the verdict it already rendered. The file was closed the first time, but vision was only the first channel. While your cockatoo's eyes were reading the face, its ears were conducting a completely separate evaluation of the voice. Cockatoo auditory processing exceeds human hearing in both frequency range and harmonic discrimination. They detect components in human speech that are entirely inaudible to us: subtle overtones, undertones, and harmonic structures that sit above and below our perceptual threshold. And when a human is lying, uncomfortable, or concealing hostile intent, the vocal cords do something the speaker cannot feel and the listener cannot hear. They produce involuntary micro-tremors, tiny oscillations in tension that alter the harmonic composition of the voice. Not the words, not the volume, not the tone as we perceive it, but the underlying frequency architecture. Research on parrot auditory cognition confirms they can distinguish between calm and stressed human vocalizations, even when the words and volume are identical. Which means a person standing in your living room saying, "Oh, what a beautiful bird," in a perfectly friendly tone while internally anxious or hostile, is broadcasting two messages simultaneously. One for humans, one for your cockatoo. The humans in the room hear the friendly version. Your cockatoo hears the real one, and it responds accordingly. The third channel is the one that surprises even experienced bird owners. For decades, the scientific consensus held that birds had a negligible sense of smell. That assumption has been overturned. Parrots, including cockatoo species, possess functional olfactory bulbs, and recent studies demonstrate they detect airborne chemical compounds at concentrations far below the human threshold. This matters because the human body does not just express emotional states through facial movements and vocal changes. It expresses them chemically. When a person is stressed, afraid, aggressive, or carrying deceptive cognitive load, the mental effort of maintaining a false presentation Their body produces measurably different volatile organic compounds through sweat and skin secretion. Elevated cortisol metabolites, adrenaline byproducts, a chemical signature that differs from genuine calm in ways no human nose can detect, but that a cockatoo's olfactory system may be registering in real time. A person who has perfected their facial control and vocal composure cannot mask the chemical broadcast their body is emitting. Your cockatoo may be literally smelling the difference between a person who is calm and a person who is performing calmness. And this channel operates completely independently of anything the person is doing with their face or voice. The fourth channel works faster than all the others. Cockatoos are prey animals. 30 million years of being hunted has built into their brain an extraordinarily refined movement analysis system that evaluates the trajectory, speed, acceleration, and intentionality of every moving body in their environment. And human movement patterns differ measurably depending on internal intent. A person approaching an animal with genuine, gentle curiosity displays what movement researchers describe as decelerated approach geometry, gradually reducing speed, softening posture, lowering the center of gravity, allowing the animal's response to modulate the approach. A person with controlling, indifferent, or predatory intent displays something different: linear, constant speed movement with rigid posture and direct targeting. The difference between these two approach patterns is invisible to other humans across the room. It is not invisible to a cockatoo. It is the exact distinction that the cockatoo's threat detection system was built to identify. Because in the wild, a predator using camouflage strategy moves differently from a non-threatening animal at the neuromotor level. And the birds who survived were the ones whose brains flagged that difference within seconds. Your cockatoo completed a full movement pattern analysis on the person who just walked through your door within the first 2 to 3 seconds of their entry, before a single word was spoken, before anyone shook hands or said hello. The verdict was already forming. And then the fifth channel, the one that ties every other channel together and makes cockatoos appear almost psychic. All 4 previous streams, face, voice, chemistry, movement, feed simultaneously into the cockatoo's highly developed pallial brain regions. When the channels align, the cockatoo receives a unified signal. Friendly face, calm voice, relaxed chemical signature, soft approach geometry. Safe? The cockatoo opens, steps forward, engages. But when even one channel contradicts the others, a warm smile paired with stressed vocal harmonics, a gentle voice paired with an aggressive chemical output, calm words paired with predatory approach geometry, the cockatoo's brain does not average the signals. It flags the contradiction. Because in evolutionary terms, a mismatched signal set has only one meaning. This individual is performing safety while concealing danger. That is the exact behavioral signature of a predator using camouflage. And the cockatoo responds with the speed and certainty of 30 million years of survival coding. Immediate distrust. Lunging, screaming, retreat, biting if the threat approaches. And you stand there telling your guest the bird is just having a bad day. Now consider the pattern that cockatoo owners have reported independently, repeatedly, and across decades. The cockatoo who aggressively rejected a partner who was later discovered to be unfaithful. The cockatoo who screamed every time a specific friend visited. A friend who was eventually revealed to be manipulative and dishonest. The cockatoo who bit a repair worker who was later caught stealing. The cockatoo who displayed threat posture toward a family member whose concealed resentment toward the owner surfaced years later. Isolated anecdotes, you might think. Until you see the volume, until you see the consistency, until you realize that in case after case, the cockatoo detected and responded to the concealed truth months or years before the human who lived with both the cockatoo and the deceptive person did. And now, the part of this video that will sit in your chest longer than you expected. Your cockatoo runs this same evaluation on you on your bad days. The days when you walk into the room performing patience while internally frustrated, smiling while internally resentful, speaking in your usual warm voice while emotionally checked out. You think your cockatoo doesn't know. You think because you maintain the surface, the bird received the surface. Your cockatoo saw the micro expression you didn't know your face made, heard the stress harmonic you couldn't hear in your own voice, smelled the cortisol shift you didn't feel, read the 2 degrees of rigidity in your walk that you didn't notice, and all 5 channels returned the same flag: incongruence. This person is not what they are presenting right now. Your cockatoo's moodiness on those days was never random. It was a perfect reading of who you actually were in that moment, rather than who you were pretending to be. The cockatoo was not responding to the performance. It was responding to the truth beneath it. Here is what all of this means. Your cockatoo is not a simple animal making random social judgments based on whether someone moved too fast or wore a hat. It is a sensory system refined across millions of years of flock survival, running 5 parallel detection channels simultaneously, integrating data at a speed and resolution that no human social processing can match, and returning a character verdict with an accuracy that science is only beginning to measure. It sees what your eyes cannot see. It hears what your ears cannot hear. It smells what your nose will never detect. It reads movement at a precision your brain is not wired to compute. And when all of those channels converge on a single conclusion about a person standing in your living room, the cockatoo does not second guess. It does not give the benefit of the doubt. It does not override its own biology to be polite. It tells you the truth, loudly, immediately, without apology. The most dangerous thing you can do when your cockatoo decides someone is not safe is assume your cockatoo is wrong. Because in the long documented history of cockatoos judging human character, the cockatoo almost never is. Like this, if your cockatoo has been right about someone all along, and subscribe. When your bird judges, listen.